Hello, hi, I'm Moon. Welcome back to my channel. I am an artist and tarot reader who streams on Twitch and YouTube. For today's reading, we will be asking, what do people like about you? This reading is intended to be uplifting and highlight some aspects of yourself that people admire. Maybe you're aware of these things, or maybe you're not, but either way, I sincerely hope these messages brighten your day a little. We have 4 piles to choose from. And especially for a reading like this, it's totally okay to pick more than one pile. There might be messages for you in multiple. I'll be showing you a card for each pile now. You can pick using your intuition, the card, maybe something about the imagery, or even just randomly if you want. If you're new to pick-up piles, trial and error is completely okay. Or if you find that none of the piles resonate, then there may have not been a message for you here today in this video, and that's also okay. I'll have lots more pick-up pile videos up some point. So yeah, you can check out those in the future. I also do want to mention really quick that I do free tarot streams on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. My Discord server is also a great way for you to keep up for when I'm streaming, and my Ko-fi as well. I also have private readings available on my Ko-fi if you're wanting a more personal reading. Alrighty, so take your time picking the piles. You can feel free to pause the video now or after I reveal each card. For pile 1, we have the 7 of Cups. For pile 2, we have the Queen of Pentacles. For pile 3, we have the Knight of Swords. And finally, for pile 4, we have the Queen of Swords. You can find the timestamp for each pile in the description and comments below. Now on to pile 1. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. So if you chose the 7 of Cups, then this is your reading. We're going to start off by going over the messages, kind of checking in on your energy. You can use this as a way to see if, this pile is resonating for you, if this energy, this initial energy that we see with the starfish and the 7 of Cups doesn't sound like you, then maybe this isn't your pile. But yeah, so what do people like about you? So I think it was interesting. I noticed you have kind of a bit of like a aquatic water theme. We do have a cups card here, but also the cups in this deck specifically, I've noticed have a lot of like seashells or like underwater stuff. And this does look like a little shell with like a pearl in it. And of course you got starfish, which is a water type in this deck. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this reading with you. I think the first thing I notice with your energy is this sense of comfort and calm that I feel. With this starfish energy especially. I feel like starfish are pretty chill creatures, I think they move very slowly underwater, or however they move. Like I feel like I don't know, but this kind of reminds me of just like a gentle water current. Like that's how your energy feels as well. It's very nice. Ooh, okay. I think first message I want to go over is that I think people could be really drawn to you by something physical about you. Like could be your appearance, could be your eyes for some of you, could be your voice. That's another one, is your voice. But it's funny because I'm like seeing this starfish as like, I'm noticing it as just like a star. Like a star in the night sky. Like, people look up and you're very bright and apparent. Like there's a big contrast in the night sky. And I kind of see that as like, there's like, I think maybe when people first interact with you or notice you, you're very, you draw their attention in. And there's something about the way you initially come off that draws people to you and kind of like, I guess, lures them in a way. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So like what I'm seeing with the 7 of Cups, so in the Rider's Waite tarot imagery, there's usually like clouds with a bunch of cups lined up here, and I kind of saw the image of that, and I kind of see this like starfish. It's like you, and then like this crowd of cups, and I almost see that as like people, like a crowd of people, like an audience of some sort. Like maybe you just have this energy about you that like when you start talking, or even just your presence, like people, it's like a crowd of people, like you shift the energy in a room. And sometimes it could be more subtle, sometimes it could be more I just heard bright. I don't know if that makes sense, like loud, I guess that's what I'm saying, but overall your energy feels very gentle. That doesn't mean you can't be like, maybe you do talk a lot sometimes, or like have a powerful voice, but I just see you having this sense of calm with your energy. Like water that's just like gently swaying and moving and not like too intense. Yeah, it kind of just reminds me of like ocean waves. That's what I'm seeing in my head now, just like the calmness some people feel when they're with the ocean. Like the ocean is huge and powerful and very grand, but at the same time there's just like a calmness to this. This is just like giving me flashbacks to when I visited California, and I got to sit at a beach for a while, and just like, I don't know, maybe just a lot of people. There could also be a lot of people that admire you from afar. Like, I don't know, I think that could be other things. Some of you may not realize how much people admire you. I think we're gonna get more into why with these cards, right? Some of you might be a little oblivious, some of you not. Oh, also one thing I do want to mention is please take whatever resonates and leave what doesn't. This is a message for many people, a large group of people, so I might say things that might not resonate with you, and I might say some things that do. So yeah, just use your intuition, your own insight to figure out what messages are for you. But yeah, so I wanted to look at the guidebook. I did glance at it for this Seven of Cups. So for this, we got a singular word. Yeah. So for this one, Seven of Cups, for this deck, we have, it'll focus, opportunities. I feel like you might not realize how much you impact people. I think you, yeah, I don't know. Okay, wait. I feel like you guys provide a safe space, a safe and open space for people that allow them to thrive and explore themselves in some ways. Like, I almost see it as like you're at like the gates of the ocean. This is an odd example, but like, it's like you open up the ocean to people and allow them to realize they can jump in the water and swim around, if that makes sense. Like, oh, that's funny. I started hearing the song. What is that one called from Epic the Musical? The one where it's like the siren, and it's like, you know, it goes like, Penelope, why? I know you're too shy, or you know I'm too shy and terrified. Oh, suffering, that's what it's called. I will take the suffering from you. Except that's a siren singing to Odysseus, and I don't think you're like a siren with malicious intent. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you just like allow people to, you're like, hey, come in, the water's fine. You know? And you like provide this space for people to open up and explore themselves, and you might not realize like how impactful your actions are, because you might not always get to see the people you bring into the water. You don't always get to see their full journey and how you have affected them. It's like, you know, you bring them into the water and some of them kind of swim off on their own, and you don't really see them because they're at other parts of the water and you're over here, you know. But it's like they're thinking about you, and they're like, that starfish, this person, pile one, you pile one. They're the reason I even jumped into the water in the first place. They made me feel safe and comfortable enough to enter this water, and I'm very grateful for them. I feel like there's a lot of people that want to tell you thank you, and maybe I don't know, maybe they're too shy to say it, or they feel like it'd be weird. They don't know how to say it. Or some of them, maybe you just aren't like connected with them with communication as much. But I think a lot of people are thinking about you way more than you realize, for a lot of you. And I think you sometimes think about these people that you brought into the water, brought into this space. And you're like, wow, I wonder how they're doing. And I don't know, maybe this is confirmation for you in a way, or a way to let you know that you have made a difference. You have impacted way more people than you realize. Yeah, that's really beautiful. Okay. I think I have a bit more to say about this one, but I want to show you these cards now too as well. So we have, for other messages about what do people like about you, the 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. Oh, I realized, did I show that to you right? 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, and the Queen of Wands in reverse. So, what do people like about you? I think you make people seen. I think you're very generous. That's what I was getting with this 10 of Pentacles. You're very generous with your resources, with your time, with your energy. It could be literal money. You could be generous with your wealth, helping people out, even sometimes when you're not doing the best yourself, but you're still willing to give out your energy to people. You're still willing to share your abundance that you have. And sometimes that is physical, material things. Sometimes that is money, but I think it's also, like I said, time and energy. I feel like you're like a gentle guiding light in the water, in the night sky, for people who feel a little lost, who are focusing or have just been in darkness, and maybe they've only, for some of you, like, people admire the way you are kind and generous to those who are suffering or even just having a bad day. It could range from people who are in like a long-term type of darkness to people who, maybe are just having a bad day, and you see that and you reach out and help, or you just provide comfort. You listen to people. You make them feel seen and heard, even if you don't always know the answers or the right thing to do. It's just the fact that you're willing to reach out to people and be accepting and be kind. Like, what people like about you is your generosity. And maybe there have been a lot of times you have felt like people haven't appreciated the generosity you've given them. Maybe there has been people who have took it for granted. Maybe you've been giving your energy, or you have been, or you've given your energy to the wrong people before. But just know that there is a lot of people that have appreciated what you've done for them. Some of them you may have not even realized they were in this 5 of Cups energy, and you helped them, Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm just noticing the colors, like how these are similar colors. We got like blues and purples here, and then we got the yellow or the gold here. Like, this is you in this 10 of Pentacles energy, this star, you're this bright little star, and there's these people who maybe are hiding in their shells. I also saw this as like you are the shell protecting people. Like, I feel like, you could be like protective of people in a way as well, like, or make them realize they deserve to feel safe. They deserve to feel heard and protected and seen. That they don't deserve to be treated wrong or to remain in this darkness that I see with them. Or just like, these like more negative emotions. I will take the suffering from you. Yeah. That was playing in my head again. Another thing I did want to mention is, as I was shuffling your cards, I did also see, or I heard in my head, this song that I have not heard in a long time. So I'm like, that's definitely a message. It's called, hold on, I pulled it up. Do 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 by Dansu. Hope I said that right. It's literally the word do, like D-O, 3 times. It's an interesting song. So there might be messages for that, messages for you in that song. So maybe you should check that out. But yeah, okay, I did want to pay attention to like the first set of lyrics. It goes like, there is a girl in the lobby of a cheap hotel. She's got her eyes fixed on the floor. She is collecting pieces of the broken hearts of the people who were there before. And I found that interesting. There's a girl collecting pieces of the broken hearts of the people who were there before. That felt like you. I feel like you're willing to, like, I feel like you're so generous to people who maybe are in, like I said, dark headspaces, just feeling negative emotions, or just need help. Like, I feel like, yeah, so those lyrics are interesting because it's like talking about a girl who's looking at the floor and she's picking up these broken pieces of people. And I feel like most people, like, for example, metaphorically, in this hotel, maybe they see those pieces of people, those broken pieces of people, and they just continue walking by. I feel like a lot of people do that. They just kind of keep on walking because they're just kind of like, not my problem, not my monkeys, not my circus. Just heard that in my head. And you know, you have every right to like focus on your own life and not, like, you know, not everyone's always in a space to take on other people's energy or, you know, be a support, you know. But I feel like it's very noticeable to the people around you and the people who know you and are close to you, especially, how giving you are and how ready you are to always just lend a helping hand. You're always just ready to jump into that, like jump into helping people. Like, it's almost like you're even like, you could even be looking to do that for people. Like, whereas most people are just walking by, in that hotel, you are actively looking down at the people who do need help, the people who are getting walked over, you know? And that takes a lot of strength. And I think that's something your guides want you to know, or, you know, even the people that are around you want you to know, is that that is such an admirable quality, because that's not easy. Kindness, being kind, can take a lot of strength sometimes. And especially when you're actively choosing to reach out your hand, reach out to those who need it. When you're actively choosing that and making those decisions to do that just because you want to or because you care, that is such a beautiful, admirable quality. And it is very much appreciated. If people haven't said thank you, let me say thank you for them, to you. You deserve to hear a thank you. Thank you for being that person, being this light. And sometimes for a lot of you, it's just like a part of who you are, or you're just being yourself. And that's what's really beautiful about this, is like, you learning to be yourself allows others to feel safe to be themselves. And that's really beautiful, because there's so many people who spend time worrying about their self, or who don't really give to others at all, or who, you know, don't act like themselves, you know. But you do. And that's very admirable, pile 1. Now it's interesting with this Queen of Wands, for our final little message here. I kind of get that, at least for some of you, I think this is a message from your guides, from your loved ones, of like, maybe for some of you, you are giving too much to others, to where it's like, people want you to take care of yourself as well. Like, I don't know, maybe you are so nice and so sweet and kind that, and generous that, you know, you're willing to give out your energy. I also just heard advice that your time, your energy, your resources to people, even when you yourself aren't doing great. And that's even more admirable. And like, that takes a lot of strength to be in your own form of, I don't know, negative feelings, darkness, or just general, like, not feeling or doing the best, and yet you're still choosing to give to others, even while you're going through things yourself, even while you just need like time for yourself or rest for yourself. And so I feel like this is like a message of like asking you to remember to prioritize yourself and your own well-being as well, that you cannot refill cup. You cannot, wait, what's that phrase? Like, you can't fill others' cups from an empty cup. I feel like the phrasing should be better with that, but I think you know what I mean. Like, oh, that's what it is. You can't pour from an empty cup. Yeah, because I feel like you are like this, you have like this Queen of Wands energy. Queens, in general, the queens are nurturing, and the Queen of Wands is someone who, I see this as someone who takes a lot of action to help others. And I see, because it was in reverse, it kind of just made me think about how you could be lacking on taking action for yourself and doing things for yourself. And just like, you know, it could be a gentle reminder to just remember to take care of yourself and prioritize your well-being as well, because you deserve this energy. You deserve to give this energy that you're giving to others for yourself. You deserve to provide a safe space for yourself. You deserve to get nice things for yourself, to rest when you need to rest, to be kind, to say nice things to yourself, to do what you do for others. You deserve that energy. And it's really beautiful when we give to ourselves, when we have self-love, you know, and when you're feeling your best, wow, I cannot words the way I want to word right now. You can help people even more than if you are just, you know, pouring from an empty cup, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think people find that really admirable. Like, they're like, oh my gosh, please take care of yourself. But it's also really sweet and just amazing that you still care so much about other people, even when you're not doing your best. Even when you're not in your best energy, you're still reaching out and loving and helping others and listening and guiding them. That's amazing, Pile One. And, you know, it is admirable, but it is also, like I said, important to take care of yourself, take care of you. You've done more than enough for people. I feel like no matter how old you are, you have given out so much love and kindness and safety for people that could fill up a lifetime already, if that makes sense. And you should be very proud of that. And continue to hold on to the parts of you that make you you, you know? You're amazing, Pile One. You're very loved, you're very appreciated. There is people who do see your efforts. And, you know, if you feel like you aren't seeing that right now, there will be people who support you and who understand you and who do not take your generosity for granted, because you deserve to be thanked and appreciated for the work that you've done. And maybe some of you really feel like you're like, wow, I don't know. I just heard in my head, I'm not Oprah. I'm not Oprah. I feel like I haven't done much for people, but it's like, it's not always about money or material things. It's about, like I said earlier, like the time and energy and the openness and safety that you provide for people. That sometimes is worth more than gold. You know? Okay. So I just finished your reading, Pile One, but there's a couple more messages I wanted to mention real quick because I noticed some things. So 2 things. I forgot to light the candle for your reading, so I apologize. I had it lit earlier, and I forgot to relight it again. I also was gonna read your page for the Animal Spirit Guidebook. So you know what? I'll show you this page in case you want to pause it and read it yourself. I am so sorry. Here's the page in case you want to pause it. But, you know, at first I got a little upset at myself because I was like, no, I forgot these things and I just did the whole reading. But then I was like, okay, I think this is another message for pile 1, of like, maybe some of you feel like kind of, I think I touched on this a little bit, like what you're doing and have done isn't good enough. You're like, oh, I didn't, like metaphorically, I forgot to light the candle, or I don't have the resources to light a candle and do all these things for people the way I want to. Maybe you don't feel good enough, or like you feel like you could be doing better for others, or just you could be doing better in general. And I think your guides want you to know that you're doing amazing and you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all your ducks in a row to deserve appreciation, to deserve gratitude, and to deserve just to be loved and just to be liked. Like, you don't have to do all these things just to earn people's love and appreciation. You're fine just the way you are. You're amazing just the way you are, and you're doing your best, and you don't have to, things don't always have to be perfect. Because the truth is, we are human, and we don't have to be perfect or always, like I said, have our ducks in a row. And you certainly don't need to do anything to be deserving of love and kindness and appreciation. You are already enough as you are, and you're doing your best. It's okay. There's days that you might, like I just did, forget to light your candle or do whatever, you know, like, it's okay. Because you're fine the way that you are. You're doing your best right now. And you have many more opportunities to grow and change and figure yourself out, figure things out. So don't put so much pressure on yourself. What you've done right now is good enough. You are good enough. And you are so strong and so loved and amazing. But yeah, I think that's all the messages I have for you, Pile 1. Thank you so much for being here and spending your time with me. I really hope this resonated. Feel free to check out the other piles if you haven't already. There could be messages for you in there. And if not, then, you know, maybe there wasn't messages for you in this reading, but that's okay because I'm making more pick-a-pile videos in the future. But yeah, hope you enjoyed being here. Remember, I do stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, free tarot streams. I also have private readings available on my Ko-fi, if you want to check that out. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you're from, Pile 1. You're amazing. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. So if you chose the Queen of Pentacles, then this is your pile. I'm using these first 2 cards as like an energy check. So if, you know, I'm talking and this doesn't really sound like you, this pile might not be for you. But yeah, like I said before in the intro, it's totally okay to pick more than one pile. There might be messages for you in multiple. If you find that none of the piles resonate, then there just may have not been messages for you here today. But yeah, let's just get into it. So, what do people like about you, Pile 2? So as you can see, you got the Dragon card along with the Queen of Pentacles, and this is quite a powerful energy. The Dragon is a spirit type in this deck, which is more rare or just a very potent, noticeable energy. I believe each of these represent a different chakra in this deck. But yeah, what I get for you, Pile 2, is you have a very nurturing, loving, motherly vibe about you. The Queen of Pentacles, I mean, all the queens are nurturing in their own way. The Queen of Pentacles is very, very giving, very homely. Like, I kind of see, like, I don't know, this fruit on top of her head is making me think of, like, I don't know, someone cooking food for you, or, like, nurturing others in that way, in like a motherly sense, if that makes sense. Even though she's kind and gentle, there's still a strength to that. And I think it's really cool because it's especially more apparent with this Dragon card. I kind of almost see this as like like this is all, again, I'm talking about you, your energy pile too, you being this Queen of Pentacles and you also being this dragon. Like, I think maybe it's possible that people could maybe underestimate, I guess like the aura or strength or power that you have, because of how kind you are, how nurturing you could be. Like it's almost like they don't expect that you also have this dragon energy inside you as well. And, you know, maybe you're very good at, like, I feel like this Queen of Pentacles is what most people see, right? But it's kind of giving that energy of like, people think they might be, people might think they could mess with you, or get away with doing things. And then I feel like it would surprise them quite a lot to find that you actually have this dragon energy and this like ability to put your foot down or defend yourself or assert yourself. And it's in a way that is very unexpected, especially because of your nature with this Queen of Pentacles. And now I actually wanted to read what the guidebook says about the Queen of Pentacles for this deck. So here's the Queen of Pentacles. It might be a little hard to read. It says, the Queen of Pentacles can be seen as a financially independent figure. She represents prosperity, generosity, and caring as a mother. She knows how to deal with everyone surrounding her. Some secure energy emanates from her. Yeah. There's also a note here of like the way she is generous with like her abundance. Like she has like, you know, pentacles, right? And, you know, pentacles can represent finances, but they also in general could represent material things, and that's why it's like making me think of, again, like the fruit, like things that you can offer people. But like I think this is something that people admire about you is like, you know, you're kind, but you're also not afraid to defend yourself or defend others. You're kind, but you're not meek. Is that the right word for that? Yeah. Like you have like this, you know, sweet frontier, I guess you could say, but you know, some people have maybe really felt this like lurking dragon energy underneath, and there's beauty in this, there's strength. It's not, I mean, it might be a little scary for those on the receiving end, like if you're defending yourself or someone else, or, you know, like telling someone off, or even like, I feel like for some of you, it's like you don't even have to like, it's like this, like I said, it's like this presence you give off. It's this energy rather than just your words. Like you might only say a few things, but it people feel those words, those few words. They feel it. I feel like you would enact a feeling. Or is that the right word? Like incite this feeling in others when you are stepping into this dragon energy. And I feel like these two energies are constantly swirling inside you. But it's really cool. It's like there's this balance that you have and that you hold. And maybe for some of you, you feel like most of the time you kind of present yourself as this queen. It could also be vice versa for some of you. Yeah. Okay. There might be like two groups of people here. And by the way, please take whatever resonates and leave what doesn't. If something doesn't resonate, then that's okay. It wasn't meant for you. This is a pile for a large group of people, so keep that in mind. But yeah, with this, it could be the opposite for some of you, honestly, where like for the other half of you, you most of the time maybe have this dragon-like presence. Perhaps you might come off intimidating to some. Yeah, you might be intimidating, or people might find it hard to approach you. But then those who get to know you come to find out you actually have this very sweet Queen of Pentacles energy about you, that you actually are, you have this authority, but you also have this nurturing nature to you, and this gentleness and kindness in your own ways, you know? So yeah, that's really cool. I did want to show you the dragon page. I don't think I'm going to read all of it because this one's a bit longer than others. Maybe I'll glance at it for some words, but I will show you it, and you can feel free to pause and read the dragon pages in the Animal Spirit Guidebook. Here's this one. And then we got 2 more pages here. We got this one. And finally this one that talks about the chakra. Yeah, I really recommend reading this because it's very cool. Yeah. Okay. But now I want to show you these 3 cards. So for other messages about what people like about you, we have the 9 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups, and the Death card featuring Truck-kun. This is the anime tarot deck. Some of you will know what I'm talking about. Maybe. But yeah, okay. I honestly feel like people admire like, I guess, the persona you have. Not that like you're faking who you are or anything, but it's just like the way you present yourself to the world. I think a lot of people love that about you. Like, I guess to clarify, with this 9 of Pentacles, so in the Rider-Waite Tarot, this is an image of a pretty person, pretty lady, or not a lady, you know, but they're wearing a golden gown, they're surrounded by golden flowers and golden things. The 9 of Pentacles is someone who has worked really hard independently to earn and achieve things in their life, and they have built up their own wealth, and they are now receiving the rewards of the things that they've done. I was gonna say, like, reaping the rewards that they sowed. Wow, I feel like I'm jumbling up some of these phrasings or sayings. Like, that's totally not how you say that. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I just think of like the lavish lady who's just like standing there proud of the work that she's done and the things that she's worked for that have allowed her to live a life like this. And seeing that through a lens of like what people like about you, I think that's how people see you. Like, even if you don't feel like you've achieved much or aren't very abundant, and it doesn't have to be like just with wealth, right? This could be with other aspects of yourself. But people see you and they just go, wow, look at this person. Like, they really have it all put together. Like, I feel like a lot of people are thinking that. They're just like, dang, like, how does this person like always have I just heard in my head, have their shit together. Like, what? And obviously, you know, no one's perfect. Even, like, for example, celebrities, rich people, everyone struggles in their own ways. But, like, that's just the kind of vibe that you give off. Even if you are, like, internally or just in general, you feel like you are not as put together as people think, that's still how they're perceiving you. Like, even when you have moments of making mistakes or messing up, I feel like you handle situations with grace is what I'm seeing. Like, you just have like this wisdom about situations, or when certain things happen to you, like certain experiences or mistakes or maybe difficult situations, I feel like people are always like, wow, this is the person I can rely on to not freak out and can handle these things with a grace and calmness. Like, I mean, well, you might still have emotions and freak out or whatever, but like, you're able to keep yourself together enough through tough situations that other people admire this about you. and that they see just the way you're able to power through things and keep yourself together, even if inside you feel like you're falling apart a little, or you feel like you're a little disorganized internally, or whatever it may be. Maybe you don't feel like that, but yeah, people like the way you present yourself. Like I said, this persona you have, and like I say persona because it's just like I guess what you give off to other people, like what you are showing to other people. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean like making up a persona and faking it for you, but yeah, that's really cool. And then with this Nine of Cups, it's interesting that we got both the Nine of Cups and Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, okay. What people like about you, another thing is like your emotional maturity. I think maybe you're able to see the bright sides of situations, or you've lived through enough experiences, no matter how old or young you are, to know that things will be okay in a way, or you're able to like ride out the big waves that life gives you. I feel like you might be very grateful. Like you might have gone through things that have made you realize that you should be grateful for the people in your life, for the moments in your life where you're happy or having fun with those that you love. Like, I don't know, maybe you've just gone through things that have made you really want to cherish and hold on to all these memories and good feelings. Because you find that can be rare sometimes. Sometimes people get so caught up in all the knocked over cups in their lives that they forget to appreciate the cups in their lives, like the people, the experiences, the community that is around them, that does have good around them. I think a lot of people get caught up in like I said, these metaphorical knocked over cups in life, which is understandable sometimes, but yeah, there's just like this emotional aspect to you that people really admire. Like when they see you go through things, or even just when you are talking about the people or the things that you love. That could even be things like books or video games or TV shows, whatever it may be. Your dog, your pets, your cats, lizard, just heard for some of you, there is a dragon here. Like, I feel like just hearing you talk about these things in your life that bring you joy, these things that you've worked hard to keep close to you and like close to your heart and remind yourself of, like, even just hearing you talk about these things, I feel like you might inspire this feeling inside of people. Like, I don't know, maybe just the way I just heard the way you could talk about, some of you talk about, like, for example, your grandmother, just memories you have with her, or your fondness of a sibling, or a friend, a community, a fandom. Your words about those things are really inspiring to some people, and I think they really like that. They admire that. That's really nice. Okay. And now finally for the Death card. Okay, it's funny. I'm kind of seeing you as this truck driver. Okay, I'm not saying you're out here trying to run over people. I'm seeing this as a more... the Death card is about transformation, so please don't be alarmed, okay? The Death card is about, you know, it's like death and rebirth, like transformation, major change, something ending to begin something new. And I feel like you could be really good at maybe, like, for example, dropping people in your life who don't really, who you feel aren't good for you or aren't helping or serving your energy in a productive way for both of you. Like, for example, if you have friends or even family members who may be difficult and you just don't feel like the relationship is going anywhere at the moment. I think you, like I said, you're good at kind of setting your foot down and just being like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm not dealing with this behavior. I am leaving this situation. And that's what I see is like, I think people admire the way you're able to bring endings into your life, because some people are really scared to do that. Some people are scared of relationships ending, even if it is feeling bad, even if they know it won't last forever and it shouldn't last forever. People have a really hard time letting go. But I feel like for you, even though it may be painful, you've just kind of been through so much that you're just at a point where you're like, I just have to let go. Walk away from these people, derive over my problems, keep on going, let things end. You know, it still probably isn't easy most of the time, but the way you kind of just, like I said, go through it or handle kind of what I was saying earlier, handle certain situations with just grace. Of just like, all right, well, you know, I'm not getting along with this person, or they don't make me feel good anymore. I'm not the best for them, or whatever the situation is, or like I can't be around this person until they're not willing to grow with me, you know, whatever. You're able to, I just heard scissors snipping, like, yeah, just cut people off, cut things off that in order to protect your own peace, your own energy. And I feel like every time you do it, you become more confident in and willing to do that in the future, when you need to, because that's the thing about, you know, human connections is like, not everyone who's in your life is going to be there forever. Some people are only there for a period of time. Some people you end connections with, and then maybe you reunite later in your guys' life, you know. And that also is one of the more difficult things, is sometimes it can be really hard to let go of those connections, or just give space, or walk away, take a breather. Those moments can be really difficult. But I think people admire the way they've seen you handle these situations when they come up in life. And it also doesn't have to be like relationships with people. It could be like a relationship with your career, with your job, with, I don't know, community, something of that sort. Like, I don't know, internet, for example, maybe there's like haters or something. I don't know if maybe you know, have an online presence where there is like people, a small group of people kind of being hateful or whatever, and like people admire the way you handle that and just are able to just like be like, nope, I'm not letting that into my little energy bubble. I'm protecting myself, protecting my peace. Because yeah, like so many people struggle with this. But you're doing an amazing job. It's not always easy. Yeah, this is kind of reminding me back to the beginning of how, like, you know, people are kind of just expect you to continue being this Queen of Pentacles energy, and then maybe can try to push your buttons or maybe push your boundaries, you know, trying to test the waters and be like, oh, they don't seem like a person who would, you know, lash out at me much or anything, you know. But then they get this dragon energy and are met with this dragon energy, and it's quite surprising, to say the least. I think you've surprised many people. Even if they never said anything, they might have just like maybe stopped texting you or something of that sort, but they feel it. You truly, like, I think you have a lot of like independent, working hard by yourself energy. Yeah, I feel like you are doing so much for others all the time. Because like I said, I think this dragon energy can also be veered towards people you're protective of as well. But I think another small message from Spirit here is, you don't have to do this alone. You don't always have to be alone when doing these things, when making these difficult decisions, when going through these things. You are very strong. And, you know, like I said, people admire all these wonderful qualities about you, but just remember, it's okay to ask for help sometimes. It's okay to reach out and rely on people. I feel like a lot of you probably have had to rely on yourself. Like, that's probably how you've kind of grown to have this dragon energy, is because of the ways you've had to rely on yourself. But don't forget that there is people out there. If not right now, there will be people out there who can support you and be there for you when you need to be lifted up as well. Because I feel like you lift up others all the time. Don't forget to allow that for yourself. To allow those people in, to allow those people to give you the same kindness and nurturing energy that you've given others, because you are more than deserving. Even if you don't believe it, I believe it. I know it. Spirit knows it. You deserve the kindness, all the nurturing and loving energy you've given out to the world. You deserve that back towards you, and you will receive it. I believe that. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going to end your reading pile 2. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope this resonated. You can let me know in the comments below if it did. Yeah, once again, I give out free tarot readings on my free tarot streams on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. You can follow me on my Ko-fi or my Discord server to keep up with me and when I'm streaming. I also have private readings available on my Ko-fi if you're looking for something more personal. And yeah, thank you for being here. Remember, you are loved, and I'm wishing the very best for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, wherever you're from. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. So, if you chose the Knight of Swords, then this is your pile. I'm using these 2 cards as kind of an energy check, vibe check. I would say if these don't feel like it's really resonating with you, then this may not be your pile. You're more than welcome to watch more than one. There may be messages for you in multiple, or if you find that none of the piles resonate, that's okay. There may have not been messages for you here, and I'm gonna make tons of other videos in the future anyways, so maybe check out one of those. What do people like about you? Now, before I start, I do want to say, please only take what resonates and leave what doesn't. This is a reading for a large group of people, so it's possible I might say something that may not resonate with you, and that's okay. Just kind of use your own intuition, your own gut feelings about what you feel is for you, what makes sense for you. But yeah, so let's get into it. I think the first thing I want to note with this zebra energy, I believe this is a fire type. Okay, that makes sense. You have a very youthful energy to you. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. You have a very youthful vibe, a very bright vibe. I was also noticing, I think it's interesting, I just now noticed in my little candle here, this has little garnet stones in them. You can see they're starting to appear. They weren't appearing earlier, but now they're appearing. I don't know, I felt like noting that. That feels like it's important. Like yeah, you have this like excitable, like maybe even a little bit, some of you are a bit feisty energy, or not. I don't know, that'll resonate differently for everyone, but yeah, you have this like youthfulness to you, and this excitement to you. So you might be very sassy, because the knights are, all of them are very like determined energies. The knights have this sort of drive and determination and power to them, but especially with the Knight of Swords, it makes me think of someone who may be quick-witted with their words, with their tongue, with what they say. So you might be quick to make comebacks or responses to people, or you just maybe the way you talk, maybe kind of sassy in a way. Or just very like, you might have a sharp tongue. And I don't think that always means, you know, you are being like, I don't think that means you're like a rude person or mean or anything. I just think, yeah, you have like this sassiness to you, I guess is what I'm feeling. Because yeah, the swords represent our thoughts, how we think, our communication, our speech as well. So that's why it kind of makes me think of that. But yeah, so But yeah, I also get a lot of youthful energy with this zebra card. One thing that kind of I was initially getting is okay, wait, how do I explain this? Like, I don't know, maybe people underestimate you based off of your appearances, or maybe I guess like based off of your quote unquote appearances, and that could just be how you present yourself, not always just your physical attributes, but like, I don't know, they might, you might be the type of person that people just make quick judgments about immediately, or just people see things in a very black and white way with you, or you might seem like you blend in. So when people get to know your personality, I think they're quite surprised by how bright you actually are, or how, like, I guess like this flame that's kind of inside you. Because it's kind of make me think of, I think zebras have these stripes to avoid like predators in the wild, I think, because it makes it harder to see them. And maybe this also could be a reflection of how you view yourself as well. Like, you might view yourself as someone who just maybe on the outside is normal, ordinary, boring, or just blends in. But, or maybe you're afraid of that, or you don't want that. So that's why that comes out a lot in your personality, because you're like, I don't know, maybe you've been categorized throughout your life or brushed to the side, and maybe you feel like people haven't really given you chances. I also just heard that maybe some people have just made quick judgments and gotten annoyed with you, for some of you, and just moved on before they could really get to know you, you know, and make a fair judgment rather than just judging based off of initial impressions or appearances or whatever it is. Because yeah, I mean, it's very apparent with this card. Like, I always notice this triangle in the middle that's like kind of revealing these colors inside the zebra. It's almost like maybe you purposely conceal yourself as well. Some of you might do that. Or you purposely blend in until you feel it's safe to let your true personality out or your true self out in some way. I think what people like about you is the way your like true self is, your inner personality. Maybe you're more confident on the internet, or you reveal more of your personality on the internet. I feel like people really like just, yeah, those like bright, colorful aspects to your personality. I think you could be really funny. You might like to make a lot of jokes. Or I feel like there's just something charming with the way you speak and interact with people when you're being yourself. Like, I feel like people really, the people who get to know you or get to see those parts of you, really enjoy being around you. They feel like maybe some of them even feel rejuvenated by your youthful energy. This I don't know why I'm thinking of like orange juice or just juice in general. I don't know why that's relevant. I don't know if maybe some of you like juice. That's random. Like refreshed. Maybe that's why. Like, I don't know. There's like this freshness to your energy. Like, it just feels good to be around you, or it's just like, it's people have a good time when they're around you. Yeah. Okay. So I've been doing this with all these piles. Sometimes I like to read out the guidebook pages for the animal spirit cards. But today I've just been showing the pages, and you're more than welcome to pause and read it if you would like. So yeah, here, I'll show you the page and you can pause it if you would like. There you go. So maybe there will be some things that could resonate in there for you. But yeah, let's move on to more about what people like about you with these other cards. So we have the Page of Cups, Three of Pentacles, and the Five of Cups. So the pages represent new beginnings, or even being a beginner, a novice And also that's kind of the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles also does kind of mention being a bit of a beginner at something creative. Or like starting to put yourself out there, like starting a new path. So there might be some of you who are younger when you're watching this. Or again, I just think in general, you guys just have like such a youthful feel to your energy, no matter how old you are, you know, old or young. But yeah, with the Page of Cups, so the cups also represent our emotions, our feelings, our connections with others. I feel like you can make friends really easily. I feel like you really like to maybe reach out to people, or you just have an easy time. You could have an easy time making friends. Once you start to feel comfortable around people, like I feel like people, when they see these truer parts of you, are really drawn to you, and I feel like you're quite friendly. But I also feel like maybe you're like you're a bit of a quote unquote outcast in a way. Like you might like, I don't know, specific like shows or books or anime, animations, certain things that have your interest. I don't know why the way this person's appearance is making me think of like cosplayers. So you might like to cosplay, for some of you. I feel like that's one way you have made friends is your common interests. And that doesn't have to just be like shows or media like that. That could be through like sports or even other things, you know. But I feel like you enjoy making new friends through things like that. Like that's how you enjoy connecting with others. And I think other people like that about you. They like how friendly and open you are, honestly. I feel like you are very approachable. Especially when people notice you. Like I think when you're in the spaces of you being able to be yourself, you're very approachable, very friendly. I think people can relax and not feel too uneasy, because you know, whenever you're first getting to know someone, there's always kind of like those awkward first conversations where you're just trying to feel each other out. But I feel like people pretty immediately like feel calm around you or find you funny or charming. I also just heard quirky. Like they feel like they don't have to have their guard up with you. Like I think you're relatively easy to get to know. And I think that's something that like they like about you. People like about you, that you're easy to be around, you're easy to become friends with. Like it doesn't feel like a challenge, or it doesn't feel like people have to like really do jigsaw puzzles and navigate your brain and try to figure you out. Like it just feels like you're very like, I don't know, almost simple in the way that I guess like that youthfulness can be. Because I think children, for example, can be quite simple and straightforward or honest. And I feel like you have those qualities, and people really like that and are drawn to that, because there's so many people who put up fronts, who mask themselves, especially when they're first interacting with people. And I mean, I think we all do that in a way, but you, I feel like the way you're just so apologetically yourself, people love that about you. They respect it, and they really enjoy being around that energy. Yeah. I don't know if red might be an important color for you, for some of you. I feel like honestly people really also like how brave you can be. Because maybe, you know, there's moments where you kind of just blend in like the zebra, but then there's moments where you reveal these colors. And I think in those moments, it's really brave, because you could receive a lot of criticism, maybe for the things you wear, the things you like, or just, you know, your personality. Like there could be people who really judge that. And I kind of see that with this Five of Cups and this Three of Pentacles. Like it's like people really admire the way you're able to move past people making judgments of you, or being harsh to you just because of you being you. You know, people who are kind of just low-key being haters for whatever reasons. I feel like people really admire the way you can just move past that. And it might hurt for a minute, obviously. Like, you're still human. Like, those things kind of get to us sometimes and can hurt. And being misunderstood or being, you know, someone who is not a part of the quote unquote norm, it can be difficult. And it is, but at the same time, I feel like you're so brave in the way you still are yourself, despite what those people have to say. People really admire that. Because I'm kind of seeing, like, in the Writer's Waite tarot imagery, like, I believe there's like a person standing there showing off the Three of Pentacles. It's like this little sculpture they made to these people. And, you know, they're really putting themselves out there. They're a beginner. And you know, they're putting themselves out there and putting trust and being brave. And, you know, that's not easy. Like, so many people just prefer to remain zebras and just blend in. But you are not afraid to show these colors, to put yourself out there, even though you know that some of these people there might be judging you. Or have judged you, or have said things that can be hurtful, or just mean, or rude. But yet you still continue to just be yourself. Because I feel like a lot of you would rather live in a world where you're unapologetic, sassy, bright, fun, charismatic self. And, you know, be judged for that rather than just kind of remain like a zebra. And I don't think there's anything wrong with zebras, but I guess like a zebra that doesn't also show their personality and colors and let that shine through. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I just saw like a sassy hair flip in my head, imagery of that. I feel like you just, sometimes it may, like, inside you may be hurting, but on the outside you put on this brave expression. Or, you know, you almost maybe some of you do that in a way to like help yourself feel better about whatever these people are saying, you know. And yeah, that's really beautiful and admirable. Even like for me, just like, I think this is very admirable, pile 3, to being yourself despite knowing that others are going to judge you and maybe disagree with you or dislike certain things about you, or certain things that you like doing or like. It's very brave of you to continue doing that, even though you know that there may be a lot of people against you. Because I think maybe you're also finding strength in the fact that there is other people. You're finding people who do appreciate those things about you, who do enjoy being around you. I think there's so much more. Like, I think you've maybe realized or will realize that the people who do accept you and love you and support you, that feeling you get from that is worth the trouble you've had in the past with others. You know, like, not that you deserve this, but like, it's almost like it makes it worth it for you, because you're like, well, I know that there's people who love me for me, so why would I waste my time being someone who I'm not, when there is people out there who do love me and appreciate me and want to be around me for who I am. Yeah. That's beautiful, pile 3. Well, I think that's where I'm going to end your reading. I think that's all the messages I have for you for now. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope this resonated and meant something to you. Feel free to let me know in the comments below. Yeah, you're more than welcome to join one of my free tarot live streams over on my Twitch and on my YouTube, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Yeah, I also have private readings available on my Ko-fi if you're wanting something a bit more personal. And I spend more time on those, even more so than, you know, the readings I do on my live stream, because I have 100% of my focus just on your reading for my private readings. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you're from. I'm wishing the best for you. Pile 3. And yeah. Hello, pile 4. Welcome to your reading. So, if you chose the Queen of Swords, then this is your pile. I am using these first 2 cards as kind of like an energy check, vibe check. So you can use this as a way to kind of help determine whether or not this is your pile. If this is feeling like it resonates, then I would say it is your pile, or, you know, you're free to watch the whole thing regardless. yeah, please take whatever resonates, leave what doesn't. If something doesn't resonate, you know, that's okay, because this is, you know, a reading for a large group of people. I will also say it's totally okay to pick more than one pile, or to have a bit of a trial and error, you know, trying to figure out which pile is yours. That's totally okay as well. If none of the piles resonate, then that just means there wasn't any messages for you here today, and that's okay, because I will have more readings for you in the future. But yeah, okay, let's get started. You have a very interesting energy, like, really stood out to me. I mean, every pile was unique, but I think yours is probably the most different from the other piles. Or just like, yeah, is noticeably different in contrast to the other piles, which is okay, because all of us are wonderful and beautiful and unique in our own ways. Okay, you may be a very quiet person, someone who kind of is just in the room, watching, observing. Perhaps you don't like being in the spotlight, or perhaps that's just kind of how, yeah, maybe you just prefer things to be that way. Maybe that's just how things turn out. Quite literally, you kind of like to be in the shadows, in a metaphorical sense as well. Like, I feel like a lot of you really only speak when you have something important to say. So like, that's why I said I think you are quiet. You're more of a listener, observer of your surroundings, the things around you. You definitely think a lot. You have a lot going on in your mind, but you're very careful with your words. You're very intentional with your words. You may be very, like, straightforward, to the point. You might be a little stoic, some of you. Oh, that's interesting. I was thinking about how you're pile 4 and how it made me think of the four of swords for some reason. That's interesting. Yeah, you might just keep to yourself when it comes to speaking, at least. Like, you might be there in the room. I definitely think you have a presence in the room. People might be honestly intimidated by your energy. Perhaps people are kind of like, especially those who don't know you, they feel a bit intimidated by you because they can't really read you, or you might come off a bit mysterious, and they might be a bit unsure, especially with like Queen of Swords. Swords energy is very like, well, the Swords energy are all about our thoughts, how we think, also like communication with others. And I also find a lot of Swords energy to have a bit more of a bite to them with their words, if that makes sense. And I feel like that might be the case for you. Maybe sometimes you aren't intending to come off harsh, but like maybe some of the things just are very like I said, flat. There's another word I'm looking for I can't think of. Just to the point. Blunt, that was the word I was looking for. Very blunt. And I think, like, you know, you're honest. That's a big thing about you. I feel like you're honest, though. Like, you're truthful. And I feel like a lot of people might not like that, or especially the way you say things. Like, maybe you're just trying to be honest and tell the truth and say what you really think. But some people might take it the wrong way, even if you weren't intending to, like, be rude. I feel like maybe you've had a lot of moments in your life where people were just like, oh, like they felt a little like bitter towards you because of how you said something or what you said, and you're just like, I was just trying to say something, or tell me my thoughts. You wanted to know my thoughts. Like, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to be hurtful. I'm just trying to be truthful and honest. Yeah, that's the other thing about swords, especially Queen of Swords. Like, it's much more like logical, practical ways of thinking. And I think that's the thing, though, is the queens are all nurturing in their own ways, but the Queen of Swords with you, I think, like, the things you say, you are trying to help people. I do see that for a lot of you. Like, you're trying to, like, I feel like you would say, like, constructive criticism. Things that are, like, yeah, are the same things that are constructive criticism, and that might not always be what people want to hear, but you're like, well, I'm trying to help you. You asked for my thoughts. These are my thoughts about this thing. I'm not trying to upset you. Like, I think you genuinely try to help, sometimes when people ask for it. But I feel like you could be kind of picky and a little bit like sour towards people sometimes, or like you're just picky who you actually talk and spend your energy on, because I feel like a lot of people, like I said, might misunderstand you, especially when they're first getting to know you. I think the people who do know you kind of realize over time, like, oh, this is how this person is. This is how they talk. This is how they communicate. This is what they're trying to say. They're just being honest. They're not trying to be rude or hurtful or anything of that sort, you know? Yeah. I do want to read the page for the Queen of Swords here with this Livett the Ghost Tarot guidebook. So let me find that. Is here. Let me hold that up to the camera. Okay, so it says, the Queen of Swords has the power of decision. She can be seen as an impressive and thorough figure. She is gifted with intelligence and clarity. She is making the right choices and believes in them. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, this is reminding me of what I was saying. Like, I feel like you're very thoughtful with what you do say. And honestly, like, the way you talk might be surprising, not just because it's, like, maybe blunt, but maybe it's just, like, it sounds so intelligent. You know, like, I feel like you are very intelligent, pile 4. But, like, I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of people aren't, like, ready for that, or aren't used to people being so honest. Which is kind of ironic, because I feel like people are always, like, wanting people's honest feelings or whatever, but then when it's something that they might not have been expecting or may not like as much, you know, they get all defensive about it. But yeah, I feel like you also are, like, I just heard unbiased. Like, you might have an unbiased opinion. Like, people might go to you because of, like, for an outside perspective a lot of the times. Like, they're wanting to know what you think, because maybe you aren't always outwardly saying your strong opinions. So it's like people go to you to help them make decisions, because I feel like maybe you've already, yeah, you have intelligence. I've also heard you've already made up your mind about certain things, or people can kind of rely on your insight. Like, I feel like you're very reliable. The people who know you and trust you know that they can rely on you. And they also know that you will be truthful, and you won't sugarcoat things just because you're their friend or family or whatever it is, you know, their partner. Yeah. Okay, I do want to show you your page for the raccoon page. So I have not been reading these out loud in this video, but you're more than welcome to pause it and read it for yourself to see if maybe something resonates for you. So here's that page in case you want to do that. There you go. Now I'm excited to show you these other 3 cards representing what else people like about you. So we got Justice, the Queen of Cups in reverse, and finally we got the Devil. Which I don't know, I love how, like, the vibe when I pulled all these cards and put them together, just it's so became very clear to me, and I'm very excited. That's also interesting because I feel like with this pile I'm finding it easier to talk or find the things that I'm saying or want to say. With some of the other piles I feel like I was just kind of babbling, but this one I feel like I'm very, like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm saying what I need to say. Which is probably your energy affecting me. So yeah, honestly, I feel like this already kind of matches what I was talking about, or further confirms it. With the Justice card, like, you are very fair. Like, you don't pick sides just because you're friends with someone. Like, you're honest with them. And that's what people like, is they trust that you can be honest and fair. And, like, you can tell them, I think you're in the wrong, or you are in the wrong, you messed up. And, you know, you're trying to be helpful, but also fair. Like, I feel like you don't really, like, give free passes to anyone, if that makes sense. Like, you're always doing your best to be fair and honest. And that's very admirable because so many people like to sugarcoat things. I mean, I'm guilty of that. Just because I'm very kind and nice. I have a hard time asserting myself or even telling my honest feelings sometimes. So I personally find this like very admirable, and it's obvious other people do as well. They really like how honest you are, and they're just like, I can trust this person. I actually just looked up, I have words on my wall here. I looked at the word deception. They can trust that you're not lying to them or trying to deceive them or like have some other motives to what you're saying. They trust that you mean what you say. And I also think some of you, maybe if you realize you're wrong, you're also not afraid to be like, oh, okay, I was wrong, or I think differently now. You know, if someone asks about it. I also think with this Queen of Cups in reverse, it's interesting because the Queen of Cups, the cups are about our emotions, our feelings, our connections with others. So like, you know, Queen of Cups upright is someone who's very like emotionally nurturing and sensitive. But I think for you, the message here about what people like about you is like, they like how you don't bring in emotions to certain situations, I guess. Like, I guess it goes back to that thing about maybe like you not being very biased about stuff. I mean, we all have biases and even you do, right? But like, you don't let you don't let your emotions overrun your reason. And now sometimes you may struggle, and maybe some people kind of wish you did show a bit more of your emotional side. But I think overall, like, it is an admirable thing that, like, while you may still obviously have emotions, show emotions sometimes, like, you don't let that override your sense of logic. And I feel like a lot of people find comfort or like need that. I feel like maybe you do have people in your life who are like the opposite almost, and like you guys can like kind of offer that to each other of like, you know, they are more of like this Queen of Cups and, you know, you're this Queen of Swords, and it's like you guys can kind of balance each other out. I am getting that message. But they like how like you don't let your emotions kind of like rule over everything in an unreasonable way. Like, obviously, you know, you're upset when you're upset, and you aren't always perfect with your words, because no one is, you know, but like, you don't let any, especially like, I guess more intense emotions get the best of you. You are still able to remain reasonable, especially when communicating. And I think that's something people appreciate, is like the fact that like when they're communicating with you, they can trust that you aren't just going to be petty or, I don't know, act out because of how you're feeling. So that's something that a lot of people I think like about you, is that they know they can go to you for like a serious conversation. You're one of those people that people can trust to have a productive, serious conversation, and that you are going to listen and reciprocate and be serious. And like, I guess like emotions, I'm not saying that like not having emotions or not showing emotions is like unserious, but I mean like, I think there is a lot of people who can be immature when they're letting these feelings and insecurities, they let that override that. And I'm just saying that you aren't like that. You, I think, have a balance. And maybe this is something you're working on, of like finding that balance of, you know, letting your emotions, when it's okay to let your emotions speak, and when it's okay to let more of your logical side, your head, speak. But I think you're very level-headed. Like, you don't lose control with your emotions when you're confronted by people or you're confronting people. Like, I feel like a lot of you, even when you are asserting yourself or defending yourself or others, like, you have like almost like this calm authority to your voice. Some of you, maybe all of you, I don't know. But yeah. With this Devil card, I think something else that people admire about you, I think you're really good at figuring out when people are lying or being deceptive. And I feel like there's people in your life who kind of can go to you and ask for your opinion. Like, I feel like you're very good at like, I don't know, like like sniffing people out, sniffing people who maybe don't have the best intentions out. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe you're just like, I feel like your mind is very analytical, and you could just see certain patterns or certain things with people to look out for. I just heard maybe some of that is due to your past, maybe a bit of childhood trauma things. I don't know. That's something that came through. But either way, I think you're good at knowing when people are lying or something's fishy. Like, I feel like you have a good sense of that. Because like I said, you're very observant. And that's the thing is, like, while everyone else is kind of like engaging or socializing or whatever, you're in the shadows kind of observing everything. So you have a interesting perspective or more clear perspective, and you're able to see certain parts of the picture that other people don't. Which is why I think people, what they like about you is that they can kind of ask you for your thoughts, or can kind of go to you when maybe someone else kind of gets a vibe about someone, and they go to you and to try to confirm that, like asking like, hey, did you also think this person was acting a little weird? And then, like, you know, you can let them know your thoughts. But I think you just have like I just heard 9 times out of 10 you're like really good at, again, like sniffing people out who maybe don't have the best intentions. And I think that's something else that people like about you. Like or you even like stand up to people who are in a more toxic devil energy of like maybe being a bit controlling or manipulative in some ways. Even if it's like subtly, I feel like you stand up for that. You stand up for others. Yeah. I feel like you can be quite protective of other people. Like, you know, you're quiet and you're watchful, and you're also protective of those you care about. And maybe that's part of the reason you look out for these people, because you're like, I have dealt with these people before. I'm not letting my friends, family, loved ones, I'm not letting people like this near them. Yeah. People like how loyal you are. That's another big thing. You have such a loyalty to you. That I think people really appreciate, especially when they get to know you and are close to you. Like, I think you fiercely defend those that you love, and you're there for them and supporting them, and you're always looking out for them. And, you know, maybe there's a bit of conflict sometimes. Like, maybe, I don't know, you have a sibling that brings home a new partner, and you're kind of like, you know, sniffing them out, like I said. I don't know why I keep using that example. Like, oh, I guess raccoons, we do sniff. But like, yeah, you could be just trying to like look for reasons, or I guess red flags. Yeah, okay, wait, that was the other thing I thought of when I was shuffling, is you aren't afraid to kind of be like the big bad wolf in a way. Like, maybe you have people in your life who do have a hard time standing up for themselves, and you're like, okay, I will be the big bad wolf person for you. I will tell this person off for you. I will defend you. I will be the one that people maybe dislike because I'm saying truth or even defending you. I don't care that people are gonna dislike me. I probably didn't like them in the first place. Anyways, you know, like, I think some people might misunderstand you. Yeah, there's something about like red flags. There's red here, and that made me think of it. But like, it's like you aren't afraid to be, I guess, the quote unquote villain in the situation, especially when it comes to your loved ones. Like, you don't mind being that person. You don't mind being the person that speaks up, that points out that a shitty person is doing a shitty thing. And people really admire that and are very thankful and grateful for that you do that for them. Because I think like maybe there is like loved ones in your life who do have a hard time with that, and they don't want to come off. Or maybe some of the loved ones in your life have like an image that they need to keep up for whatever reason. And so you're like, okay, hand me the mic. I'll be the one to do it. I'll be the one to say the truth. I'll be the ones to face this person. I'll be the one who people maybe villainize or whatever. I don't care. I will be that person. And that's very, very admirable of you. Honorable. I think that was also what I was trying to say. And yeah, people really, really like that about you. They love your loyalty and how fiercely you care. Because I think some people do misunderstand, like, just because you may be more logical with the way you think and speak, that doesn't mean you don't care. You're just trying to find solutions and help people. in your own ways. And that's beautiful and wonderful. Yeah. So I think that's all the messages I have for you, Pile 4. That's where I'll end your reading. I really hope this resonated for you. I hope it meant something. Feel free to let me know in the comments. Yeah, if you want a more personal reading, you can come and visit me for one of my free tarot live streams on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. I also have private readings available as well if you are wanting reading that's way more personal and also has 100% of my attention, because sometimes on my stream I can get a little distracted with all the things I'm managing on there. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I'm sending all the good vibes, all the good things towards you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you're from, Pile 4.